He's been in this country several times, and he's a real favorite because he's so outgoing, and he speaks English beautifully, and he's always talking to the crowd and hamming it up.
Look at the height above the bar, and that's his first of 4 release moves in the same routine. You'll notice in exhibition format, they're allowed to use that crash mat. Makes it hard to stick the landing, unfortunately, but it's a lot easier on their body.
In her free time. Would you please welcome now on the uneven bar?
Well, he did a triple, and then he did a -1, so the result is only a double back for Rustam Sharipov as we get ready now to go over to the uneven bars. This is Yulia Yurkina. She, by the way, is performing in this show with her twin sister, Olga.
And we had a terrible time telling which one was which at the beginning.
No, it was easy. One had a blue barrette and one had a pink one.
Front somersault in tight position, one of the more difficult release moves on the uneven bars. This is a ginger. Somersault with a half twist. Dismounted, double twisting flyaway, excellent landing. This is beautiful, clean form.
The 16-year-old champion of Belarus performs beautifully on the uneven bars.
Our next performer.
Now we're going to have a chance to see Dominique Dawes perform on the balance beam, and Dominique has been such a crowd favorite. Dominique Dawes is known as Awesome Dawson by her teammates for her explosive style. Now, she's had a remarkable 1993, 4th in the all-around at the World, and 2 silver medals on the bars and the balance beam, but it seems like floor is her chance to really show off for the crowd.
I remember
yeah, it really helps me when they cheer me on and my teammates on, and that really gets me throughout the competition and motivates me a lot.
She's a great tumbler. She scored a perfect 10.
Now in the balance beam, this is Dominique Dawes, and Kathy, she had a terrific championship in Birmingham and was so close to winning the all-around title, but she did win a silver medal on this event.
And quite honestly, I think she probably should have won the gold medal on this event, based on her level of difficulty compared with the rest of the field. Watch the height and the amplitude here on these straddle jumps. The new code of points or the new rules, they're requiring a higher level of difficulty in order to score well. Watch these 3 layout step-outs in a row.
That's amazing.
Many of these more difficult skills earn bonus points for the gymnast.
She gained so many fans with her performance in the Worlds because she really went for the gold medal in the last round. She had to make a vault, and she went for it, and she had a tremendous amount of support from the fans there who was happy that she went for it. She, of course, made a slight mistake and dropped out of the medals, only placed 4th. But I think she gained a lot of fans from that, don't you, Kathy?
Not only did she gain fans, but she gained a lot of confidence going into another World Championships or maybe the Olympic Games in Atlanta.
She knows she can compete with the best now.
Dismount, full twisting double back.
Dominique Dawes, USA.
Shows you really how powerful she is. She actually had a little trouble on those back handsprings generating enough speed and momentum. This was the best pass. With 1 back handspring. Now watch this. 3 layouts right in a row. 1, 2,
Next performer was born in
and the third one right on the end of the balance beam.
years old.
And a great landing.
He's 5'3.5" and only weighs on.
From Dominique Dawes, now we go over to the floor exercise. This is 18-year-old Ivan Ivankov.
He did very well winning.
We saw him in Birmingham. He was 4th in the all-around. He won a bronze medal on the rings. And Ivankov is from Minsk, of course, the same hometown as Vitaly Sherbo. And by the way, Olga Korbut comes from Minsk in Belarus. He's an exciting tumbler.
We're really seeing a lot more front tumbling passes these days. Look at
a beautiful form, toe point, body line, and extension. It's so typical of the gymnast from Belarus. Kathy, we've talked so many times about the improved technique. He almost fell out of bounds there on that Y scale. Whoops. And a pike double back dismount. Kathy, we've talked so many times about the improved technique, and we'll talk more about that when we come back to San Jose and continue with our gymnastics of the world best. And welcome back to the 1993 San Jose Gymnastics Spectacular on the campus of San Jose State University. Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson here. We're getting ready now to see Chris Waller on the still rings from the United States. Chris Waller, by the way, has been 4 years on the U.S. national team. And every year that he's been on the national team, he's won at least one national title. He was a bronze medalist in the Goodwill Games on the still rings, which we're going to see him perform now.
Sorry, girls.
And by the way, a finalist in the 92 Olympics and the 93 World Championships on his specialty, pommel horse. Still rings is perhaps one of the most difficult of the men's events because the gymnasts have to combine strength and swinging elements, all the while keeping the rings completely still. Chris opens up with two excellent L-cross moves and a straight arm press to a handstand. One of Chris's best qualities has been his body line. He always has good, tight body line, excellent toe point, and good basic positions. It's a clean-looking style. His dismount, a laid out, full out, which is new for Chris. Just a little short, but as you said, Kathy, it's a good thing that there are no judges here.
And it's a perfect opportunity to try new things before competition.
Okay, we're ready for our next gymnast. She's going to be...
Now we're going to go over to the balance beam and take a look at 19-year-old Ludmila Stolchataya. We've seen her before in the States, Kathy, and she's always had an interesting style, but I don't remember her having blonde hair the last time we saw her.
No, that's changed. Ludmila's the oldest performer for the women here. She's 19 years of age, just as Chris was the oldest male. He's 24.
Seems kind of ironic that she's 19, Kathy, when you competed in your first World Championship. You were 19 years old and just getting started.
And I thought I was young. Nobody told me I wasn't. Just won a gold medal at the World University Games for the team, and she was second on the balance beam. Watch this. The backspin invented by a Chinese gymnast, Li Li. Double back in tight position. Right there. Very nicely done.
Beautiful.
Perfect landing. Maybe it was worth the extra little amount of concentration before the dismount.
That really was a spectacular dismount, Kathy.
This dismount is made even more difficult by doing it in pike position. Notice she keeps her legs straight, and look at that landing.
Kathy, by the way, a few minutes ago we saw Chris Waller on the still rings. We talked about his gymnastics accomplishment, but we neglected to mention that his most important accomplishment recently is the marriage to Cindy Olkowski, June 19th. Congratulations to Chris and Cindy. We'll be back with more gymnastics later on. And welcome back to San Jose, our gymnastics exhibition featuring the United States, the Ukraine, and Belarus. And this is Tatiana Lysenko. And Kathy, she's from the Ukraine and, of course, has been one of our favorites for many years. And although she's won several medals internationally, she hasn't won as many as we always thought she deserved.
There was always a fluke mistake or an injury or something that kept her from really winning a gold medal at a major competition. But as you said, when she won the gold medal at the Olympic Games on beam, we both cheered. Very exciting to see.
Here she is on the uneven bars.
She also has a very nice dismount plan. A more unusual dismount than we usually see. Here it comes. Double front with half twist. Very difficult. Take a look at this dismount. Very, very difficult. She does it extremely well. Double front somersault. You'll see her spot the mat right there, half twist. A little trouble on the landing because of that big crash mat there.
Now we're going over to the floor exercise to take a look at a guy who, the world champion on this event.
Igor Korobchinski on the still ring.
I was thinking we were going to the floor exercise. We're going over to the still rings. Korobchinski will be performing on the still rings. He was the world all-around champion in 1989 and world champion on the floor exercise. He'll be entertaining us with his ring routine.
Bart, he has been so good for so long. It's really amazing to see him year after year compete so well.
23 years old. Member of several former Soviet World and Olympic Championships. And still strong on the still ring. The dismount that Korobchinski uses is a double layout. And you notice he is a little shaky in that handstand. You see he has his right elbow wrapped up, suffering a slight injury recently. But his dismount is the laid out double back with a full twist. And as always, he sticks it cold. Now we're going to go over to the uneven bars and take a look at a really exciting young gymnast here, Yelena Piskun. And Kathy, we saw her in Birmingham, and she goes for some wild moves on the bars.
This is her best event. I hope she's planning to do that very most difficult skill. You'll know it immediately. A 1.5 twisting somersault to a regraph. Right there. Oh, she made it in warm-up, too. I can't tell you how hard that is.
Obviously, it's an exhibition, so there's no deduction for making a fall like that. Certainly, the gymnastics fans here love to see the gymnasts go for the big moves, especially in exhibitions.
You mentioned earlier with the spotlight, I think that made it much more difficult. You're unaccustomed to that kind of lighting. It's hard to find the bar.
She has such power in her swing.
Watch the unusual swing through the bar. She keeps her legs straight.
Sort of straight.
Sort of straight. They're actually a little bent, but she doesn't fight to miss that low bar.
Hey, there's Peggy Fleming and her husband, Greg Jenkins. Just lives down the road. It's nice that she came by to take a look at our gymnastics show.
Now see if you can see this skill. Watch the 1.5 twist right there. And she just can't quite hang on. She's right there, actually.
I still think the gymnastics fans appreciate seeing these stars go for the big moves anyway. But we'll be back with more of the world's best in gymnastics right after this. And welcome back to San Jose for the San Jose Gymnastics Spectacular, an exhibition featuring the United States, the Ukraine, and Belarus. And we're getting now to go to the floor exercise to see one of the great young gymnasts from the U.S. team, Carrie Strug. She's been on 3 world championship teams and 1 Olympic team, and she's only 15 years old. And many gymnastics experts feel that perhaps she could be the next gymnast to ascend the throne.